Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot, part 2 of my video that I posted on the channel yesterday when I'm going to have a quick look at the economies around the world. Inflation, recession, etc, etc. I notice my grocery bill in Australia is up about 20% on what it is normally, so all I can say is thank goodness I'm not on a fixed income, on a limited fixed income. Real wage growth in Australia hasn't occurred in about, 10 years, whereas inflation has been going up. Our inflation rate, I think, in Australia is around 5%. The RBA is meeting today, which will be yesterday by the time this gets posted, with looking at putting interest rates up, which I don't know will actually solve the problem, because the actual problem is just a lack of supply. Lack of supply caused in Australia by floods, drought, COVID preventing a lot of our seasonal workers coming in to harvest crops and to work in specialist seasonal jobs. For example, you've got the grain harvesters who drive these massively huge machinery. You can't just put anybody in, and what they do is they move from Canada to Australia and then on to South America on as they follow the cycles of the world. They haven't been able to come in, our harvesters haven't been able to come in. We've had massive flooding, which has caused food to go up. There have been supply shortages of building materials, which due to COVID lockdowns in China, etc. So that's caused construction costs to go up significantly. And then there has been the war in Ukraine, the invasion of Ukraine, which has caused the price of fossil fuels to go up significantly, which has meant that anything that is transported, the cost goes up. So it's just a rolling stone of events that is just causing inflationary chaos worldwide. So what I might do is I'll first off have a look. Oops, excuse me. I've got cards trying to fling out everywhere. Things are going to be revealed, and this will too come to an end. Terrible downfall. But I just want to have a look. Worldwide inflation. Please tell me what's going on with the inflation worldwide. Will there be a recession? That's the wrong question. Tell me about the inflation. Tell me about an overall picture of inflation worldwide, and then we'll have a look country by country. So what am I using? My Universal Golden Tarot. Inflation worldwide. Tell me about inflation worldwide. Just an overall. They are flinging out at me everywhere, but these three pretty much sum it up. There has been a real abuse of power, abuse of the truth, sabotage, almost like a sabotage. So, okay, this is very much about China being in the lockdown, so therefore the supply chains are severely disrupted for pharmaceuticals, for construction material, for white goods, for electronics. So this is almost, I wouldn't say it's deliberate sabotage, but there are actions that have been taken. This is also Russia invading Ukraine. There have been actions taken that has caused this to happen, that has caused a major constriction in the ability on the world level, and at the moment reaping what has been sown. So it's going to take a while to come out of this, and disappointment at the harvest. So it's going to take a while to come out of this, but I'll have a bit more of a look. Tell me about inflation on the global scale. Tell me about inflation on the global scale. Tell me about inflation on the global scale. Australia, we're going through politics at the moment. We've got an election coming up in 3 weeks, something like that. There's a lot of promises being made. I'm not interested in who can promise the most. I'm just interested in who can deliver, who actually delivers. Tell me about inflation. Tell me about inflation worldwide. Oh. Tell me about inflation. Right, so we've got Queen of Swords as the signifier card. So this is about a bringing forward of the truth, a bringing forward of justice. Often means the legal system, but she's a fairly powerful figure there of wisdom and intellect. Sorry, I'll bring you down. So let's have a quick look at this one. Crossed by moving on or moving out of troubled waters. So what I'm getting is okay. This card is telling me that what I burbled on about is the truth. It is about these actions that have been taken by specific countries that are causing it, but it will move on fairly rapidly. At the moment, you saw how I shuffled. At the moment, the world itself is feeling constrained. In the past, we are disappointed with the harvest that we have reaped. It has all been about reaping what we sowed on a world scale, but then we have the Strength card crowning the reading. It is about taking strength that this too shall pass. The governments are working on it. There will be choices that need to be made, and some of them may be difficult choices to rebalance on the world stage. There is a bit of naivety about what's actually happening, an emotional naivety, but this is walking away from what is no longer serving us or walking towards what will serve us. But there will be this, there will be an end to it. There will be an end, and we will move back into a period of prosperity. There is some disappointment in the offers that are being made, but actions will have consequences and plans will come to fruition. Okay, so we've got here the King of, on the base is the King of Pentacles. He's all about financial security. The messages are coming forward, working hard. There is this realization that this underbelly that needed to be exposed does exist, but we have the Star of Hope, so things will be rebalanced. There will be some loss and disappointment. Plans will be made. There will be just watch your pennies for the moment, I think this is telling me. Just take financial consideration, as there will be loss and disappointment, but it is a new beginning, and this will inevitably end. Okay, so they do like to tell me a story, but very much, yeah, it's going to be crux for the moment, but I don't see that it lasting a long time. It will end, but just watch your spending for the moment. Don't spend on what is not necessarily required. In other words, just tighten the belt at the moment. Tighten the belt. Now I'm going to use a new deck here while I go around country by country. These are my Tripping Weight cards, Tripping Weight Tarot. they play on the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, but they're a little bit more funky. So we'll see how they go. I haven't pulled them out yet, but the reason I'm pulling them out today, and the reason I wanted to use these today, was it was reflected really in that first reading, where it's going to be really crux. It's going to be tight. There are people who are going to find themselves in really difficult positions, but it will pass quickly. And I think what it is once this invasion by Russia is over, and once China comes out of its lockdowns, I'll ask whether it's by the end of the year will we be back on even keel. Just take caution of what you spend, which is difficult because to help the economy go around we need to spend, but I'm getting very much of just be cautious of what you actually spend. Easier said than done when you have to decide, do I pay the rent or do I buy the food? My heart really goes out to those that are in a difficult situation. Okay, tell me, they're quite slippery, these cards. Tell me, will this inflation resolve itself by the end of 2022? Will the situations that have caused this inflation, so not the inflation itself, will the situations that have caused this inflation resolve themselves by the end of 2022? Geez, cycles go so fast nowadays. Wow, okay. Yeah, I don't know why that had to come out, but it did. Things are so fast. Tell me, will... Oh, interesting card. Looks like I've been on a bit of LSD here. This is telling me, yes, new financial beginning by the end of 2022. New financial beginning. Interesting cards. Let's see what they tell us. Oh, what popped out there? Yeah, return to prosperity. A return to prosperity by the end of the year. We've got the King of Pentacles. Also peace. I quite like how it's all peace and love. But the King of Pentacles, so new beginning, a return to prosperity. Yeah, I'll bring these down so you can actually have a good look at them. New beginning, return to prosperity, the return to financial stability. Oh, Temperance is upside down. Don't know quite how that happened. Don't usually read upside down, but I'll keep that upside down for the moment. Temperance is usually about rebalancing, and I think what this is things are out of balance at the moment and there is disappointment, but that is going to change. There is disappointment in what is happening now, but we are heading for a new cycle and there will be these joyful days again. There will be joyful days again. Base of the pack, which is the immediate here and now. There is heartbreak and loss. There is heartbreak and loss and disappointment. A need to just mind your bickies at the moment. And infighting. However, there is this wish fulfillment coming that will be a slow and steady move forward. Interesting. I'm just looking at the next one. Slow and steady move forward. It has been caused by this process that we're going through at the moment, which is, I won't say deliberate sabotage, but it could have been avoided if certain things hadn't occurred. Make love, not war. The interesting cards. So this is a coming together on the world stage, bringing forward a message of success. So that is telling me that yes, at the moment it's caused by this imbalance in the world stage, but yeah, by the end of 2022 it's going to be okay. So interesting cards, these tripping weights. Still learning them. They're basically the rider weights, but they are a bit of fun. However, I want to have a look at each country individually. I'll put those away because I don't think they're quite serious enough for this question. Back to my mystical manga cards. Tell me about the economy in Japan. Now, Japan, even though they are what we would consider a Western economy, they are very reliant on China. 20% of their imports come from China. A lot of those are foodstuffs and, component manufacturing. Right, thank you. Component manufacturing is what I've been told. Didn't look it up. Tell me if I'm wrong on that. As I mentioned yesterday, it's about a lot of industries are realising that they can have a product 99% completed, but without that 1% that might be coming from a disrupted part of the world, they cannot put their product to market. So basically they cannot fulfill their orders. Tesla is producing around 2,000 less cards per day at the moment because of components coming out of China that aren't available due to the Shanghai lockdown. Tell me about Japan's economy. Japan's economy, please. Way too many cards fell out there. Japan's economy. Japan's economy. Okay, it is fairly well balanced, Japan's economy, or it's up for a rebalancing. I think they have enough in supplies to keep them going. So for some reason, Japan's not too bad. Okay, the strength of their government, the astuteness of their financial governance is at a crossroads, but they're going to be okay. So Japan are going to be okay, is what I'm getting there. Yeah, they're going to ride this out. So okay, that's Japan. Let's have a look at the US. So the US also gets about 15% of its imports from China, but more concerning is their fossil fuel industry is being affected, and then you have some bizarre governments going on. They also are very drought affected, weather affected as well in the US at the moment, with droughts and floods and hurricanes and all sorts of tornadoes. But yeah, when I'm talking about governments, I'm talking about Abbott in Texas, who prevented, $230 million worth of produce from crossing from Mexico into the US, and it's spoilt at the border. Roll my eyes. Okay, how is the US economy going to go in the short term? US economy. No, just tell me about the US economy. Tell me about the US economy. Japan's going to be okay. China's going backwards at the moment, but once it comes, it will recover fairly quickly. But tell me about the US economy. I'm not getting super alarm bells ringing. I think this is going to be very short and sharp worldwide. Tell me about the US economy. US economy. Oh, a bit of illusion going, self-deception going on, bit of illusion and delusion going on. It is burdened, and I think this is caused by decisions of governments past. It is going to be a difficult journey for the US. There is an offer coming forward, perhaps a stimulation package being offered. There is solid foundational work going on behind the scenes. Now you'll notice in comparison to the Golden Universal Tarot, you've actually got the three parties here working together, whereas in the other one you've got the two elites standing to the side and one figure doing all the work. These ones are actually working together. So there is a solid foundation that is being constructed beneath the economy of the US. You've got this stability coming forward, but there is still something to be revealed. But it's going to be okay. You'll get back to prosperity. So what I've got in at the moment is there is a lot of delusion going around. Illusion and delusion. Possibly fake propaganda. This isn't the lies card. This is just about having the wool pulled over your eyes by various parties, which is the signifier card. And then the clarifiers are, yes, it is going to be burdensome. It is going to be difficult. There is going to be an offer made, which I'm thinking is a stimulus check. There is solid foundational work going on behind the scenes in regards to the economy, where it will bring forward stability. There will be something that will be revealed, but it is bringing forward a stability and a return to abundance, or as abundant as the US is. Base of the pack, we've got a harsh truth coming forward, or a truth coming forward for the families. There will be help. There will be help on its way. I'm just looking at the next two cards, which was a lot of this has been brought about by here's this card again. It keeps popping up. And this chaining to the toxicity, or not necessarily the toxicity, but chained to reliance, addiction, and it's addiction of, okay, Maighstir, I'm getting it. He's just downloaded on me like you wouldn't believe. It is an addiction to chasing the cheapest possible way, the cheapest possible product, exploiting of others. Okay, and that is going to change. It is changing. It is changing for a wiser outcome, an inevitable ending, and a prosperous new start with this financial, not abundance, what's the word? He's the mentor who's wants financial prosperity for everybody. I've gone complete blank on it, but that's what Maighstir's telling me that series of cards mean. Is it means that the world will, it is at the moment, or has been in the past, chained to this, especially the US, of cheap and fast, abusing the employment of some for prosperity, or for cheap products, cheap throwaway products, and that is coming to an end. So I'm quite pleased about that. At the moment, we are restricted, but please retain your strength. Thinking of an example as, you've got one of the world's wealthiest men, Jeff Bezos, who pays his staff the absolute minimum wage. I'm sorry, but he can afford to forego $1 billion or $2 billion to actually pay his staff a living wage. You've got a few in industry that like that, but it's more about instead of expecting Amazon to be cheap, Amazon needs to price its products at a price where the workers are actually getting a living wage. So, sorry, wherever that came from, but that is coming. That is coming. Okay, have a look at Europe, please. Let's go to Europe. Europe is at the moment in a conflict with great anxiety attached to it. They are very reliant. Several countries extremely reliant for their manufacturing and their economy, and I read that on that the other day in regards to Austria and Germany. Their economy is extremely reliant on the gas that they receive, the fossil fuels that they receive from Russia. So they're on a bit of a juggling tightrope at the moment as to transitioning over. I gather Poland has had its gas cut off. But other countries in Europe have been able to come to the aid of Poland, but Germany and Austria are so reliant on it that they cannot follow down that path and keep their economies afloat. But I'll have a look at, and here's Russia. Yeah, and they're in their gilded cage, or well, the oligarchs that are making money out of it are in their gilded cage, living unaffected. But show me the economy of Europe. The economy of Europe. The economy of Europe, please, going forward. The economy of Europe. Stay strong. Draw on your inner strength. Draw on your inner strength. You will have choices to make. They won't be easy choices, but it's very much stay strong, be true to yourselves. You will be faced with choices. They won't be easy choices. They will be choices between what is right and what is morally right and what is financially right, but rest assured all the choices have possibilities with them, and they will be good choices. There will be this truth, harsh truth, that will come forward. In regards to Russia, the dependence on Russia will end. The truth is, okay, so stay strong. You've been faced with these choices that you have to make. The choices that are made will be the right choices. The harsh truth about the dependence on Russia will come to an end. You've got this domestic financial security, but also security from terrorism is not the word I'm after, but that's the one that's coming out. But there will be this internal security for the countries of Europe. Things are under review at the moment. They're feeling a little bit isolated and put out. But rest assured, they won't go back to how they were. They will go back to a better version of how they were. You are currently at a crossroads, but you have this wisdom leadership coming through, and the current crisis will inevitably end. And this is about unity of diversity coming together. Base of the pack, we have the Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. We've also got this chain to the devil, which is chained to the idea of fast and cheap and abuse of those less well off than us that don't have a choice. But you are moving on from that as you realise that your actions have consequences. So Europe, looking okay. I'm not seeing any, I haven't had a tower, I haven't had a, real disaster card come forward yet. Okay, quickly, the subcontinent. The subcontinent, which is the Indian region, second largest population behind China, produces a lot of, so if I'm looking at the Indian region as a whole, so I'm taking in Bangladesh, Pakistan, just all that sort of area. I do want to have a look at Sri Lanka down the track, but we'll do that in a couple of days' time. But I'm looking at the subcontinent area where I'm also thinking of the Cambodia, Thailand, the Lower Asia region, so Lower Asia, European region, where a lot of pharmaceuticals, a lot of clothing, there's a fair amount of furniture manufacturing. How's the subcontinent, Lower Asia area economy? Tell me about the subcontinent, Lower Asia economies. Tell me about the subcontinent, Lower Asia economies. They're going to do all right. They're going to be okay. This is the bringing forth of abundance. They are affected by what's going on in Russia at the moment, but I'm feeling that this is very much an abundance card. They'll come out of this okay. Yeah, they'll come out of this. They'll be okay. Their economies will be okay. They have a strength about them. A lot to do with their the strength of their workforce, the work ethic of their workforce. They have a strength about them. They will rebalance. I don't think they'll get out of balance, to be honest, looking at this. It will be a new beginning for them, and they will bring a lot of their manufacturing under their umbrella. There is going to be some anxiety. There will be some loss and some difficult decisions to be made as this devil's turned up again, as they realise that they have been chained to, and I mentioned it, I think, last reading about the pharmaceuticals, that India produces a lot of the worldwide medicines that we use, a lot of the everyday medicines that we use, but they are struggling to produce them because they are waiting for components to come out of China, and they're realising that they had been chained to this devil energy, and they also are going to move on from it. So I think what's happening is they're going to bring a lot of their manufacturing in-house. So if we run through that again, the subcontinent, Lower Asia region is going to be okay. They're actually going to, they are going to become the new powerhouse. Is that the word I'm after? Powerhouse, the new manufacturing hub of the world to a fair degree. Okay, so no, they're going to do okay. They're going to be financially okay in that region. I know there's a lot of people that get paid an absolute pittance, but they're going to be okay because their strength is okay. Their strength is in their harmony and balance, and I'm thinking of India in particular. It is a fairly harmonious democratic society. It's not like China where there's sort of one leader. It is actually a fairly, and there's a lot of autonomy, I believe, for the regional leaders. So they have a very stable government, I think is the term I'm after. There will be this new beginning, this new emotional realisation, and they will bring a lot of their manufacturing under the one umbrella. What's happening at the moment is causing them a lot of anxiety, causing them disappointment and loss as they realise that they're chained to this supply network and they're going to move on from it. So that's the subcontinent. Very quickly, last but not least, I'll have the quickest of looks at Australia. We're fairly open about what's going on over here. We know what's causing it. We've got an election coming up in a couple of weeks. Oh, so want it to be over. We have two major parties. One is far right and one is centric. The far right one is fear-mongering with no plan. The centric is got a plan, but it can't plan moving forward, but can't get its voice to be heard on our Murdoch-run media. I have read on Australia several times in the past the election, and I see that people are just fed up, and it will be the minor parties and the independents that decide who is government. So we might actually get a government that represents and works for the people instead of for their own self-interests. So, but anyhow, off my little soapy horse there, let my little soapy horse out to pasture. Tell me about the economy in Australia. Tell me about the economy, Australia. New Zealand tends to tag along behind Australia in a number of ways, although they are significantly forward of us when it comes to renewable energy and social causes. But tell me about the economy in Australia. Yeah, we are facing a harsh truth. There's a realisation amongst the people. We are a country of abundance. We have so much possibility. We just need a government that can set a direction, set a foundation for that abundance to be built upon. Australia's going to be fine. We are going to bring a lot back under our own wing. Australia has had a tendency in the past of huge innovation, fabulous innovation. I mean, it was Australian that invented the solar panels, or the modern version of the solar panels. It was Australians that discovered the creation of ability for a false skin for burns victims. It was Australian that developed the cochlear ear implant. It was Australians have so much development ability, but we have a tendency, because we can't get the funding in Australia, as we sell it overseas. But for the prosperity of the country, we're going to have this unity where things are bought or kept under our own umbrella, under an inspirational leader. Wonder who that is. At the moment, we've got this fear-mongering government, conservative government, a message coming forward in regards to working hard and dreaming big. The Australian people will receive assistance, and we will prevail, basically. We will prevail, but as I've said with elsewhere, just pinch your pennies for the moment. Interest rates, I think they're discussing it today, which was yesterday when I put forward this reading. 2 days ago when I put forward this yesterday. Losing track of time. Just pinch your pennies in anticipation. This will pass very quickly. We will return to stability. There is a solid foundation that will be built for the sake of the future, the families, the prosperity, and we are facing a new beginning with domestic security, with financial security. So that's my reading for today, as a quick whip around, or not so quick whip around, as we're nearly 40 minutes on the economies of the world. So thank you for joining me. Have a fabulous day, and I shall catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.